September is here and we've actually gotten some interesting developments for Animal Crossing this month. As I'm sure most of you already know, things are fairly quiet usually for Animal Crossing, but there have been some really interesting pieces of news that I definitely think you'll want to know about. So in this video, I'm going to recap some of the latest news we've gotten for Animal Crossing, recapping some of the past videos I've made earlier this month, and giving you a full rundown of everything that you need to know about the latest news for Animal Crossing in September, as there are several things to talk about with interesting new details involved too. To start us off, Nintendo actually gave the shock announcement at the start of the month that they would be releasing 2 new Nintendo Switch Lites themed around Animal Crossing, and these are properly themed Switch consoles. We have not seen them do this since I believe February 2020 when they released the original Animal Crossing Nintendo Switch, so this was a pretty big deal and honestly a huge surprise given that of course they stopped updates for New Horizons nearly 2 years ago now. I really was not expecting to see this announcement, but it's definitely a very interesting one. Also, leave a like on the video if you think they should release an update alongside this new console. And since my last video on this, there have actually been some interesting new details shared by Nintendo themselves about this console. Now, it's up to you whether you decide to get it or not, of course, but they have shared that it will actually be exclusive to Target in America if you want to get the Isabelle edition, and if you want to get the Timmy and Tommy edition, then you can get it exclusively at Walmart. Now, I'm not sure where exclusives will be for other countries. I'm assuming you can get it just online. After all, I'm not in America, so I'm gonna have to try and figure this out myself if I do want to get it. But I find it very odd and peculiar that they would decide to do these exclusives. In fact, it's just odd and peculiar that they would decide to release this at all now. As I'm sure a lot of you know, it is highly likely that a new Nintendo console will be releasing next year, so it might not be the best idea to buy these now unless you're really desperate to start up a second island. I definitely think that for those of you who do want to start up a new island, this could actually be a pretty good idea. I mean, they are properly Animal Crossing themed, although they are fairly simple in terms of their design, at least compared to the other Switch that we got. So if you have been wanting to start up a second island, or you're just an Animal Crossing collector, then this definitely might have been an announcement you were waiting for. But sadly for a lot of us who aren't interested in doing that, or even already have a second Switch, this announcement is probably a little bit too late. And with another new Nintendo console coming next year, I can't really recommend that most people would buy this one. Thankfully, it does come with a digital copy of Animal Crossing New Horizons, which is definitely good, but I don't believe that it actually comes with Happy on Paradise, which would have actually been really good to see, and would have definitely made this even more worth getting. So yeah, this could definitely be good news for some players, but maybe not such good news for others. Either way, it is a really interesting and surprising announcement. Also, even though I do think it's fairly suspicious they're deciding to release this so randomly now, I don't think it means anything for New Horizons itself. I don't think it means we'll be seeing any more updates or anything like that, which is a shame, but that's what we all have come to expect at this point. I think this is more geared towards people who want to experience the game for the very first time. Now, for our next piece of news, Nintendo has confirmed that for the very first time ever, Happy on Paradise will feature as a part of their missions and rewards section, where you can actually collect a bunch of different Animal Crossing themed icons to use as a profile picture on your Nintendo Switch. This feature gets updated in real time every month with villagers who are currently celebrating their birthdays, as well as some of the special characters who work around the island too. But this is actually the first time that they've included Happy on Paradise in this, and they announced this over on their Twitter too. I know a lot of people aren't as interested in this feature since it isn't Animal Crossing New Horizons itself, but I personally really like this feature and I found it cool that Nintendo continues to add new things to it. So for those of you who want to have Happy on Paradise themed icons for the very first time on Nintendo Switch, you'll now be able to do so. Sadly, in the case of Happy on Paradise, it hasn't gone on sale in America like we expected last month. There was actually a special sale announced for the DLC and New Horizons itself in Europe last month, but they still haven't extended this sale to America and generally the rest of the world. I'm thinking that we might see it over the holiday season because I can't imagine they would leave this as Europe only. But since we were on the topic of Happy on Paradise, I did want to provide this little update despite it not really being the best news. It's something that I've gotten a lot of questions about since, like me, a lot of people were surprised that this sale only happened in Europe. So hopefully Nintendo will decide to extend it to the rest of the world over the holiday season, because it would be the best opportunity to pick up Happy on Paradise for the first time, or for anyone to get New Horizons if they don't already own the game. Which, in the case of New Horizons, probably isn't the majority of you, but maybe you know some friends or family who still need to pick up the game, And that could be a good incentive, so I will update you in a video if this sale does get extended to the rest of the world, like I'm expecting it to throughout the holiday season. Now, right at the start of the month, Nintendo finally revealed to us Animal Crossing's involvement in their major event Nintendo Live, which was happening for the first time in America. We actually got a little video showing what it would have been like if you attended the event in person, and honestly, what we saw did look really cool. Despite the fact that there wasn't really any news for Animal Crossing, which, to be honest, was something we didn't expect to see anyways. They had their own area for Animal Crossing at this event, like we've seen them do with some past Animal Crossing events too. And attendees were even given a selection of amiibo cards too, which they could use to invite characters to the roost to have conversations with them. Whilst this won't be the most exciting news for most people, I do personally think it's good that Animal Crossing is getting featured significantly at major Nintendo events. It does show that Nintendo sees Animal Crossing as one of their major franchises, when before the release of New Horizons, Animal Crossing was actually seen as a lot more niche. To me, Animal Crossing's presence at an event like this shows that Nintendo understands the demand from fans to have Animal Crossing involved in things. So realistically, that should be good for the future of the games. Now, as I was literally making this video, Nintendo decided to announce a Nintendo Direct which will be happening on the 14th of September, so it's possible that for some of you watching this video, it might have even already passed. I did want to say that I generally don't expect to see any Animal Crossing news in this Nintendo Direct, but it is still a possibility. I think it's really important to remember that a September Direct was where we got the huge Animal Crossing 2.0 update announcement for the first time. And of course, we aren't expecting any news like this for Animal Crossing New Horizons, the updates are over, but I do think it's still possible we could see some sort of spin-off announcement on the Nintendo Switch, or perhaps we could see a release of an older Animal Crossing game, either ported over as some kind of remake, or maybe even as an addition to Nintendo Switch Online. I won't get my hopes up, and I'm sure that a lot of you might be watching this now and seeing that we didn't get anything for Animal Crossing, but you never know really, and with each Direct, the chances of getting something new becomes even more likely since we're moving further away from Animal Crossing New Horizons. In fact, this Direct will mark 2 years since we first learned about the 2.0 update and the Animal Crossing Direct that would follow. So enough time has elapsed for us to start to see some interesting new developments, which is definitely an exciting thought, even if it isn't in this September Direct. So yeah, definitely some interesting news for Animal Crossing this month, a mixture of good and bad, but my main takeaway is that it's good Animal Crossing is still having interesting pieces of news despite the fact that New Horizons hasn't been updated in such a long time. They've actually been putting a lot of focus on Animal Crossing as a franchise throughout this whole year, so it really does make me wonder if they're getting ready for what would be coming next. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments section below though. If you made it to the end, be sure to comment Bob's Gang down below. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, and if you haven't already, consider subscribing and turning on notifications for more.